Hey, and welcome to this video on womb healing. My name is Cyan. I'm the founder of The Light Collective. We are an online yoga studio and we dedicate a lot of our time to feminine-centered practices. So if you're interested in more of this kind of content, hit the subscribe button below or head to our website where we have a whole range of online practices that you can do. We have courses related to the divine feminine and also a bunch of teacher trainings. So let's get straight into womb healing. What is it and why would we even want to do it? Well, when it comes to the particular stream of yoga that we like to teach and practice in, which is the tantric stream, what we're really focusing on when it comes to womb healing is not just the womb, but the entire female reproductive system. This in Tantra and in yoga is called the yoni. And the yoni includes the vulva, the vaginal canal, the cervix, the womb, the ovaries, and the fallopian tubes. So this entire region. And what's so important about this space? Well, it deeply connects us as potentially women or those who have a womb or this region to divine feminine energy, to Shakti. And this is our innate power. As women, or those who don't identify as women but have a womb, we have this natural capacity to draw upon energy through this space in our body. It's powerful, it's wild, it's pleasurable, and if there are blockages in this space, then we want to remove them so that we can create deep connection. So why would we need to do a womb healing? What's happening in this space and how do blockages occur? Well, from a tantric perspective, we're looking at the womb as being what's called the negative pole in the body, or a very receptive space. So a traditional man and woman relationship would have the positive pole of the female as being the heart center and the breasts. And you can think of a positive pole as something which extends out into the world. So this is where we have breasts and nipples that extend out into the world. That's our positive energy, where there is a lot of flowing energy outwards. In the masculine or in the male, there is a sense that this is the negative pole where they receive energy. Now, when you move down the body, the male genitals are extending out into the world and are the positive pole, and the female genitals are receptive and are the negative pole. And so the very nature of the space of the yoni and the womb is that which receives. And this receptivity is a beautiful thing, and it is a lot of our power comes from this receptivity. But unless we are kind of deeply connected, clearing and healing this space, what are we doing? We're receiving, sometimes positive, sometimes negative. And we can start to store a lot in this space in the body. And I'm talking about physical, energetic, and emotional. So this is a place in our body where we can physically store scar tissue, if you've had a traumatic birth or any kind of illness or injury here, it can be physically stored in the yoni space. And this also includes traumatic sexual experiences. On a physical level, the cells can store trauma, biocellular memory, but also when we move into negative experiences around our sexuality, around our yoni, our vulva, our vagina, we can store all sorts of hurt and wounds. So this can be emotional trauma that we can store here, or strong emotions, or it can also just be general energetics. So the energetic body is also a storehouse, and we can think of it as we're storing the energy of every lover we have ever had. Think about that. Every time you have made love to someone, you're storing their energy within this space in your body. And so there's a sense that when we want to connect to this space, when we want to create vitality, when we want to connect to our femininity and the energy of Shakti, we also need to do some work to clear and cleanse and release so that we've got this really fertile ground for expression and pleasure and power. So let's go through a few simple steps, simple or not so simple, but we have to start somewhere, to reconnect and heal this space of the womb and the space of the yoni. And step one is about creating a sacred space. Yoni actually means sacred space. It is the portal for all life on the entire planet. Think about that. You have a magical, mystical portal for every human being on the planet in your body right now. That is insane. And yet, what can start to happen in our day-to-day lives is that this place in our body can, for some people, become a space which is of service to others. I access it so that my husband feels good, or my partner wants to connect with me through this space. Or this is the space where I gave birth. It was like a service space for my children to move through. It can become a place which is really not always connected to deep, sacred, divine, feminine energy. And what we can start to do is begin slowly to reframe and reconnect by simply acknowledging its sacredness. When we think about something sacred, imagine if you went to India and this priest manifested out of nowhere and he handed you the most beautiful goddess statue and said, take good care of it. This is sacred. You would take it home, you'd wrap it up in your luggage, you would show certain people, you would dust it, you'd bring a certain reverence to the way you treated and took care of that object. The same goes for our yoni. By changing our intention and our state of mind to really feel that this is a sacred space, means that we start to take care of it. We take care of our health. We get regular checkups. We look at it and make sure that it's healthy. If something's wrong, we get onto it quickly. And also we decide who gets to enter this sacred space, who is around and gets to receive the energy of this incredible, magical, life-giving portal that we have in our bodies. Because the sacred that has been taken out of sexuality I'm not saying that it's a bad thing, but it can mean that we have given ourselves to lots of people and not all of them were deserving of being witness to that sacredness in you. So you can do this in a really gentle way by really daily connecting, maybe even bringing your hands onto your yoni space. You might even like to say it to yourself. My womb, my yoni is sacred. I take care of this space in my body. You could even set up some time once a week or once a month to light a candle, create a physical sacred space, light some incense, and take some time to create a meditation, do one of our meditations, have a look on our blog, or spend some time gazing at your yoni, if you're into that kind of thing. I am. But you could also do self-pleasure practices and make it really sacred, or you could do that with your lover as well. So this is step one, really connecting to the womb and the yoni as a sacred space. The second thing that you can start to do is connect into the energy center of the womb space in the yoni. And this is called Svadhisthana chakra, or the sacral chakra. You may already know that there are 7 major centers within the body itself known as the chakras. There's one at the root, the sacral, the navel, the heart, the throat, the third eye, and the crown. And when it comes to working with the chakras, we can work on the energy of the space to help create change on the physical. And we can also work with physical practices that help and create change on the energetic level. So they work backwards and forwards. And if you decided that you wanted to start to create clearing in the womb, what you're also really doing is starting to connect with Svadhisthana chakra. So you might like to take a look online at what this sacral chakra is all about. Sacral chakra connects us to our emotions. It connects us to our capacity to flow freely with life. It also connects us to our wider community. So the people that we spend time with, the types of ongoing, I would say, trends and things in our current society are really sacral chakra. Taste and food is a powerful way to interact with the sacral chakra, and even doing some inquiry into how do I eat? Do I overeat? Do I undereat? How do I consume things in my body? Drugs, cigarettes, alcohol, all of those things are working with the sacral chakra. And as we start to clear and balance the sacral chakra, we work at healing and cleansing through the womb. Because one of the primary aspects of Svadhisthana chakra is its meaning the home of one's sweetness. It is the place of deep pleasure, our capacity to create pleasurable moments in our life, but also to connect with our sensuality and our sexuality in really healthy ways. And this is deeply and profoundly connected to the space of the womb. So now that you have started to create a connection to this part of your body, you can start to look at step 3, which would be beginning some clearing and cleansing practices. Before you start, it's a really great idea to do a bit of journaling. Create some sort of intention. What do you know intuitively is blocking you or holding you back? It could be a general feeling or sense there's something off. It could be that you know you've had some sort of traumatic experience that you need to fully process. Maybe it is that you need to really create healing around pain in this part of your body, or you'd like to really amplify pleasure or fertility. Whatever it is, start to understand this space and create a clear intention. There's a numbness here that I want to let go of. Then you can start to work into a little more deeper somatic practice. Somatic means in the body. So when we're writing out our journaling, we're really in the mind. And this is great. And you can work with a therapist as well, or you can work with friends to talk it out. And this is really healing on one level of our being, on the mental level. But if you want to do some deeper, more physical work, this means you start to do somatic work, which is body work. And this can be the missing piece in our healing journey when we're used to only doing mental practices like talking. The physical can really unlock healing. So some of the practices that we have within the Sacred Woman course and in our online yoga studio include shake and release practices. So when we shake through the body and really focus on moving the body to release this kind of space. Another thing that we like to do is primal sound. So working with a sound that comes from the yoni itself, really closing the eyes, dropping the awareness down into the yoni and really going deep into allowing its sound to release. Other practices include things like sacred breathwork, and tantric breathwork can be really powerful. Or there are specific meditations that you can do. And as part of our blog post in our journal on our website, we've given a really nice, simple meditative practice that you can do to clear this space. So step 4 is the best part. Once you've started to release whatever is going on here that's blocking you or numbing you out, then you start to open yourself to pleasure. Deep and expanded experiences of pleasure. This part of our body, as I mentioned earlier, can be numb. It can be numbed out from childbirth, from really too much sexual experience that was something that you were disconnected from. So if you had to disconnect in your mind and have intercourse or penetrative sex, you can disconnect from feeling, physical feeling. It can also happen through trauma or even just negative words told to you by your lover, self-consciousness, conditioning from culture. I mean, it goes on and on when it comes to our yonis in this day and age, we are working against 5,000 years of patriarchy on top of everything else, plus, plus, plus. So in order to release all of that, we can then start to reclaim the pleasure that is your birthright. This space is filled with around 8,000 to 9,000 nerve endings. That is double the amount found in the male genital region. We have double the amount of pleasure-sensitive nerve endings, and we can start to reclaim pleasure in our bodies. Some of the other more deeper practices that we teach through the Light Collective, with a lot of sensitivity for those people who have gone through our trainings, can really help support releasing numbness in a deeper way. And one of these is called yoni mapping. And yoni mapping is really about connecting to each part of the vulva and the vaginal canal and the cervix as well, so that you can start to release numbness, release pain, and create brain chemistry to this part of your body so that you can awaken all of those beautiful nerve endings. The other thing that you can look at doing, and there's courses through the Light Collective and as well as many other great practitioners out there, I'm sure, who do cervical de-armoring as well. And this is something that you should feel really empowered to be able to do yourself. So there are specific tools that you can use. You can have the guidance of like a practitioner to do that on you, or you can do an online course where you can really empower yourself to do it for you as well. Apart from the cervical de-armoring and the yoni mapping, is working with what I describe as the love muscles. So this is the PC, and starting to create a deepening connection to your pubococcygeus, which is the hammock really that supports the yoni. And this space has got so many muscles. It creates more pleasure during intercourse, in self-pleasuring, if you activate it. Now, for some women, creating that lift, sort of known as Kegels as well, and doing like a kind of lift of the pelvic floor is really necessary. And for another group of women, learning how to relax and soften this space and let go the PC muscles is going to be really fundamental. So starting to explore this space in your body will help you to create more pleasure, which is your birthright. It is your birthright. Finally, I'd like to talk about how all of these practices and this deepening understanding of your womb can also promote fertility. On a really simple level, we can think about it in this way. Where our mind goes, our energy flows. Where we put attention and energy, we receive life force. In yoga, this is called prana. And the more life force we have in an area of our body, the more alive it is, the healthier it is. And what do we want to create? Life in this space when we're working with fertility. So life force begets life. This means that by really allowing ourselves to connect to this space, we're giving the best opportunity for our body through prana, through energy, through attention, loving attention, not stressed out attention. Stressed out attention is so difficult to unwrap yourself from when you're in the midst of trying to get pregnant. But if you can find ways through relaxation practice or meditation as well to soften and relax the body and start to connect through massage to this space, through self-pleasure, through deepening awareness, then you're drawing fresh blood, fresh prana, fresh chi to this whole space. Another thing to think about is that for a lot of women, myself included, I spent a large proportion of my life trying not to get pregnant. All of the things that I was doing in my 20s were like, oh God, I don't want to get pregnant. And so all of this creates energetic and mental blockages to fertility. And what I would say is start to, in small, small ways, slowly, unwrap all of those old habits and patterns and see if you can start to change them. It could be certain things like the app on your phone that tracks your cycle. You could change it to wanting to have a baby, even maybe a little before you're planning on doing it. Or the way you talk about pregnancy or fertility is really kind of positive, so that you start to create an energy in your body of getting pregnant is a good thing. The other thing that you can do is a really simple meditation of bringing your hands into a diamond shape. Here we're connecting the palms over the ovaries naturally. And you can imagine or sense or visualize a golden light drawing into the ovaries in the womb and allowing that energy to vibrate and pulse, and sense that there is life force, there is jing, there is power, almost as if you have plugged yourself in to a universal energy source that's directed straight into your ovaries, and really power them up. And do that on a daily basis. Let the ovaries and the whole space of the womb be really filled with life force on the daily. So this ends our little set on womb healing. You can find a more detailed journal post via our website. And if you want to contact us for more information on our courses and classes, then we would love to hear from you. Or if there are any questions, you can write them in the comment section below. Thank you.